What's up, Gatekeepers? Welcome back to Weekly Soap Chronicles. I'm your girl, Phyl, and today I'm diving into the drama-packed episode 137 of Beyond the Gates. But first, I need you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a recap with a little bit of flair. Let's get into it. Gatekeepers! They done took out old Doug. I'm a little upset about it, but I'll get to that in a minute. So we kick things off with Anita and Vernon, who are having a pretty chill day at home until Nicole storms in snitching. Ooh, mommy and daddy, look what Dani did, as she shows them a picture of Dani and Andre in Vegas getting married. Oh Lord, what has Dani done now? And of course, Vernon is, I'll make some calls. Because of course, the Dupree reputation is at stake at all times. Who can I call to make sure that this doesn't get into the press? But Nicole tells them that it may be already too late because the post got over 10,000 views and counting. But of course, they're going to try to make sure it doesn't hit the press. Meanwhile, Dani and Andre have returned from Vegas, still hungover because they didn't do nothing but drink the entire time. Dani is wondering if she need to join AA, and Andre is like, I need to get a lining, but my hair hurts. So now the question is, what do they do about this impulsive marriage? Dani's ready to call her lawyer for an annulment before her family finds out. And Andre was kind of like, do we have to get it annulled? And Dani was like, yeah, you know, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. And then Andre is like, is it more about what your mama and daddy gonna think or what Bill is gonna think? Now, Dani admits she's curious about how Bill will react, and Andre calls her out on it. But hey, at least they're being honest with each other. Just as they're starting to figure things out, Nicole calls Andre and asks him to come over to the Duprees. Can you come over to my mother and father's house? Why? Is there something going on? I'll talk to you about it once you get here. Meanwhile, over at Haley and Bill's place, things are heating up. Haley's gossiping with Caroline on the phone when Bill walks in to shut down the rumors about Vanessa and Joey hooking up. Now, because Dani lives rent-free in Haley's head, I hope Dani realizes that I'm your wife now and there is no chance of you and she getting back together. At this point, Bill is annoyed. You know what? I'm about tired of always having to reassure you that I love you and devoted only to you. Stop worrying about Dani and what she doing and not doing or whatever. She ain't finna do nothing anytime soon anyway. So right at that moment, Caroline sends over the picture of Dani and Andre. Haley, of course, was over the moon. This chick was getting ready to do the boots on the ground line dance. She was so happy. Bill, look, you said that Dani wasn't gonna move on, but look, she has moved on. Now, Bill wasn't happy to see that. He like, what has this chick gone and done? And Haley, of course, is like, you a little bit too upset about it for my taste. Look, it's because all the attention that this is gonna garner. How are the kids gonna react to this, especially Chelsea? And, you know, coming off the trauma that she just went through. She don't need all that, okay? And he gets mad and storms out. So Andre makes it over to the Duprees where he can face the circle of judgment. He come in like, hey y'all, how y'all doing? Let me come over here and give my auntie Nicole a hug. And she pushes him back. You mean sister-in-law? Ooh, the Duprees are so full of judgment. I'm telling you. How dare you, Andre? How could you, Andre, drag Dani into this mess? I'm so disappointed in you, etc., etc. Oh, that's why I'm over here. Well, you know what? Y'all don't have to worry about anything because Dani is working on the annulment even as we speak. He eventually leaves, and then Nicole realizes that even though Andre and Dani were only married for a few hours, he showed more loyalty to Dani than Ted showed to her. Oh, poor Nicole. Yeah, whatever, Nicole. I don't feel sorry for you no more. So next, Bill couldn't wait to get over to Dani's house so he could give her a piece of his mind. So how you gonna sit up there and marry somebody half your age? What? Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? But, you know, today's society, double standards. He calls it ridiculous. And Dani, of course, is like, you know what? What I do in my personal life, Bill, is no longer your concern. As a matter of fact, why don't you go home to your child bride? I'm sure she's waiting for you to cut up slices of banana and put it in her frosted flakes. Bill storms out, and Dani's left with a little smug smile on her face. Talking about score. Okay? Bill heads home, admits to Haley that he went to Dani's house, and surprise, surprise, Haley's annoyed. Shocker. Okay? Girl, please. Now, Andre gets back to Dani's house and returns with some bad news. Her parents know about the wedding. But Dani, she's surprisingly calm. She even asked Andre to reconsider the annulment and stay married to her for a little while longer. Is this about love, or is Dani just trying to one-up Bill? Either way, this storyline is getting juicy. So now let's talk about the shocking moments of the episode. So over at the police station, Jacob tries again to get in touch with Vanessa and leaves a message to urgently call him back. Meanwhile, in Puerto Rico, Joey and Vanessa have just finished having a bang session. And from her enthusiastic screams, Joey is like, ooh, I still got it. And he is ready for another round. Well, hold up, lover boy. I need to check my messages first. She sees that Jacob have left several voice and text messages. It seems urgent, so she calls Jacob back. Jacob asks if she's alone. She says she's with an associate, but he tells her he has some bad news. Doug was in a car accident and he is unalive. Vanessa, of course, is shocked. She's confused. Jacob says he lost control, drove into a ravine, and the car caught fire. They believe he was driving under the influence. Vanessa starts crying and sobbing, and she asks if he suffered, and Jacob says no, he passed on impact. Vanessa was glad for that, though. He asked her to come to the station to make a positive ID of the items from the car. She thanks him and hangs up. She tells Joey the news and then breaks down in gut-wrenching cries. Joey holds her and tries to comfort her as she goes into denial. She feels bad after their last conversation, and Joey is sure Doug knew she loved him. She becomes angry with Doug for risking his life like this. She starts hyperventilating and says, "Oh my gosh, what am I gonna tell the twins? They worship their father. How am I gonna tell them that he's gone?" Joey promises to help her. She knows that everyone thinks that she was a terrible wife to Doug. "How could I be here in Puerto Rico having bang with you while the father of my kids is unalived in a ravine?" Joey says she's not to blame. It was an accident. "Are you sure about that?" she asks, wondering if Joey had a hand in this. Of course, Joey promises he didn't. She apologizes to Joey because at this point she's just reeling. He tells her to take a long hot shower and he'll order breakfast and then they'll go home. She thanks him for taking care of her, but once she's in the shower, Marcel calls and says it's done. And as far as anyone is concerned, it was a tragic accident. Now back at the station, Law and Order Jacob is still wondering why Doug was drunk and speeding. Somebody with his standing, being a doctor, why would he do that? Marcel: "Well, drunk makes you stupid." They do agree that they're glad that no one else was unalived. But Jacob still thinks that it's odd that Doug, of all people, would get behind the wheel drunk. So Marcel tries to get him to stop focusing on Doug because as far as he's concerned, that was just an open and closed case, and move on to some real criminal. Jacob feels for Vanessa. Marcel just shrugs it off. Vanessa was cheating. Jacob says she was devastated. And Marcel says, "Well, karma is a bee. He brought it on himself." And Jacob just looked at him and was stunned by that statement. But at the end of the day, old Doug is gone. And I hate that because I liked Doug and Vanessa's relationship. They were so funny to me, okay? But it's a soap opera and people come and go. Now, I don't think they have a body because I think they said something about it being burned beyond recognition. So, in soap opera land, there's always a possibility that Doug can return in the future. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that, Gatekeepers. So that's a wrap on episode 137 of Beyond the Gates. What did you think of this episode's drama? Are Dani and Andre doomed? Or could they actually make it work? And what's your take on Doug's quote-unquote accident? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of Weekly Soap Chronicles. Until next time, Gatekeepers, keep the drama alive.